The first time Cristiano Ronaldo felt the weight of public scrutiny, he was still a teenager in Madeira. The cheers of the crowd had not yet drowned out the whispers, the doubts, the early criticisms. Even then, he understood one simple truth: talent could open doors, but resilience would determine how far he could go. From the very beginning, Ronaldo realized that being in the spotlight meant living under constant judgment. Every goal celebrated was dissected, every misstep amplified. The world watched, ready to praise or condemn. He could have been discouraged, intimidated, or distracted, but he chose another path. He chose focus, determination, and the mental toughness that would become his trademark. As he rose through youth leagues, the criticisms became louder. Scouts questioned his size, rivals mocked his style, pundits doubted his potential. But Ronaldo had learned early that criticism is not a wall, it's a mirror. It reflects fears, insecurities, and expectations, but it doesn't define ability. He studied the comments, the analyses, and the headlines, not to be consumed by them, but to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Every morning, before the world even woke, he would mentally prepare himself. Visualization wasn't just for goals on the pitch, it was for handling adversity. He pictured himself facing harsh commentary, missing a shot, enduring boos, and responding not with anger, but with performance. It was a training ground for the mind, as important as any physical drill. The media spotlight was relentless. Cameras followed him, questions were sharp, and opinions flew faster than passes on the field. Social media, newspapers, interviews, all could become arenas of pressure. Ronaldo discovered early that control is the antidote to chaos. While the world speculated, he controlled what he could: his effort, his preparation, his response. Criticism, he realized, was inevitable. But surrendering to it was a choice. He chose resilience, turning negative energy into fuel for excellence. Every harsh headline, every critical voice, became motivation, not distraction. This mindset allowed him to focus on what truly mattered: improvement, consistency, and impact. Even when the stakes were highest, when media pressure reached its peak, Ronaldo maintained a simple principle: do your work, let results speak, and don't let opinions dictate your identity. It was a lesson learned in youth, refined over years, and reinforced in stadiums filled with millions of eyes. By the end of his early training sessions, as sweat soaked his jersey and muscles ached, Ronaldo paused to reflect. Criticism could be sharp, loud, and invasive, but it could never take away his commitment, his focus, or his ability to shape his own destiny. Every challenge, every doubter, every skeptical headline was an opportunity to prove, not to them, but to himself, that greatness is forged in resilience, not applause. And so, the journey continued. The early whispers of doubt had become a symphony of lessons, teaching him not just how to play football, but how to navigate the relentless pressures of fame, scrutiny, and expectation. This was the hidden battle behind every goal, every record, every iconic moment, mastering the mind in the midst of unrelenting criticism. By mid-morning, Cristiano Ronaldo had moved from the solitude of personal reflection to the intensity of the training ground. But even here, the battle wasn't only physical. Every sprint, every drill, every precise kick was executed with the awareness that the world was always watching. Cameras, social media, analysts, they were omnipresent, even if not physically on the pitch. And Ronaldo had learned to treat them not as distractions, but as variables to manage. Mental preparation became as critical as physical drills. Ronaldo practiced visualization with the same intensity he applied to shooting or dribbling. He imagined the stadiums, the fans, the opposing defenders, but also the criticism, the headlines, the negative commentary. In his mind, he faced boos, harsh pundit remarks, and social media backlash. And each time, he visualized responding with composure, confidence, and excellence. He developed a mental armor. Criticism, he realized, was unavoidable, but he could choose its impact. Instead of letting it erode focus, he transformed it into fuel. Each harsh comment, each doubting voice, became motivation to train harder, refine technique, and elevate performance. The negativity of others became the engine that drove his relentless pursuit of perfection. Ronaldo also mastered perspective. Not every opinion deserved attention. Some criticism came from ignorance, some from jealousy, and some from expectation. Understanding the source allowed him to filter what mattered and what didn't. He internalized only constructive feedback and learned to let the rest wash over him. This discipline of discernment was a cornerstone of his success. Even press conferences and interviews were part of the training. Ronaldo approached them strategically, answers concise, calm, controlled. No overreaction, no unnecessary explanations. By maintaining poise, he minimized the potential for controversy while projecting confidence. Media pressure, he realized, was a tool, not a trap, when approached with clarity and restraint. Nutrition, recovery, and consistent routine also reinforced mental strength. A disciplined body supported a disciplined mind. Hydration, protein intake, sleep, and stretching weren't just physical necessities, they were rituals that reinforced focus, resilience, and emotional stability. Ronaldo understood that a tired body leaves the mind vulnerable to distraction, doubt, and frustration. By late morning, after a combination of tactical drills, mental exercises, and conditioning, Ronaldo reflected on his growth. The pressures that could have broken a lesser player had instead become catalysts for mastery. Criticism didn't vanish, but it lost its power to disturb him. He had transformed media pressure from a source of stress into a test of discipline and self-control, one he consistently passed. And as he prepared to transition into team drills, Ronaldo carried a calm certainty. The world would always have an opinion, headlines would always spin, and scrutiny would never end. But none of it would define him. His identity, his performance, and his legacy were shaped by his preparation, focus, and resilience, not by the clamor of external voices. By mid-afternoon, Cristiano Ronaldo transitioned from individual preparation to the intensity of team practice. The locker room buzzed with energy, but Ronaldo carried an inner calm forged by years of dealing with criticism and media scrutiny. While others might have been distracted by headlines or public opinion, he was focused solely on performance. Warm-up drills turned into high-intensity exercises simulating match conditions. Ronaldo led by example, sprinting, dribbling, and striking the ball with precision. Every teammate felt the intensity he brought, it was infectious. Excellence wasn't optional, it was mandatory. Criticism, doubt, and external pressure could wait, the priority was execution and preparation. When practice matches began, the stakes felt real. Coaches called out tactical adjustments, opponents tested limits, and cameras captured every movement. Ronaldo thrived in this environment. Pressure wasn't a burden, it was a signal to elevate. Every missed pass or blocked shot became an opportunity to refine technique and strengthen mental focus. Criticism and media pressure often became topics among teammates. Some expressed frustration, others let it affect their morale. Ronaldo, however, remained grounded. He reminded the team that results speak louder than opinions. He shared lessons from his own career, how to turn negativity into motivation, how to maintain composure under scrutiny, and how to channel pressure into performance. Even in simulated high-pressure scenarios, Ronaldo's mental training shone. He visualized the crowd, imagined commentators dissecting his every move, and rehearsed his responses mentally. This allowed him to act instinctively, make split-second decisions, and maintain confidence regardless of external noise. By late afternoon, scrimmages intensified. Ronaldo faced defenders who challenged him relentlessly, but he moved with precision and poise. Every goal scored, every successful pass, and every strategic decision reflected hours of preparation, not just physically, but psychologically. Media pressure, criticism, and public scrutiny had been transformed from potential distractions into tools of focus and resilience. As practice ended, Ronaldo reflected on the lesson of the day: pressure isn't something to avoid, it's something to master. The roar of the crowd, the gaze of critics, and the weight of expectation aren't obstacles, they are tests of discipline, focus, and self-belief. And Ronaldo had passed those tests countless times, proving that true champions thrive not in comfort, but under pressure. By evening, as he left the training ground, Ronaldo carried a quiet certainty. The next match, the next headline, the next critique, none would shake him. His preparation, his mental fortitude, and his ability to perform under scrutiny ensured that every challenge became an opportunity to showcase excellence. The stadium was electric. Tens of thousands of fans roared, cameras flashed, and millions more watched worldwide. Cristiano Ronaldo stepped onto the pitch with a calm focus that only comes from years of preparation, discipline, and experience handling pressure. Every gaze, every headline, every critical opinion faded into the background. Today, it was about performance, not perception. The match began with intensity. Ronaldo moved with precision, confidence, and instinct. Every sprint, every dribble, every shot was the culmination of decades of training and mental conditioning. The critics had questioned him, doubted him, and scrutinized him relentlessly, but none of it mattered in this moment. Excellence spoke louder than words. Midway through the first half, the decisive moment arrived. Ronaldo received a pass at the edge of the penalty box. He paused for a split second, just long enough to calculate, just long enough to let instinct take over. The shot was perfect. The net rippled, the crowd erupted, and cameras captured what the critics would later analyze in endless headlines. But for Ronaldo, it wasn't a response to critics, it was the natural outcome of preparation, focus, and unwavering discipline. As the match progressed, challenges intensified. Opponents pressured, teammates looked for guidance, and every decision mattered. Ronaldo led by example, staying composed, decisive, and resilient. Every time criticism arose in the media or among fans, he reminded himself and the team that success is earned on the field, not in opinion columns. By the final whistle, victory was secured. Ronaldo had not only performed at the highest level but had demonstrated what he had learned over years. Criticism is inevitable, media scrutiny is constant, but true mastery lies in focus, preparation, and resilience. His performance wasn't a reaction to pressure, it was proof that pressure, when mastered, becomes a catalyst for greatness. Returning home, Ronaldo reflected on the journey. The early mornings, the rigorous training, the mental exercises, and the countless hours of preparation had created more than a legendary player. They had forged a mindset capable of handling anything the world could throw at him. Criticism, headlines, and public opinion no longer dictated his confidence, they fueled his excellence. He understood a truth few truly grasp: talent opens doors, but discipline, resilience, and mastery of the mind create legacies. Every record, every goal, every moment of triumph was born from preparation, focus, and the ability to turn criticism into motivation. As night fell, Ronaldo smiled, not at accolades or praise, but at the journey itself. The discipline, the mental strength, the mastery of pressure, they weren't burdens, they were the essence of who he was. Tomorrow, the cameras would return, critics would write, and expectations would rise. But Ronaldo was ready, because he had learned the most valuable lesson of all: success is not defined by what others say, but by how you respond, perform, and persist. And so, the story continued. Every match, every challenge, every headline was an opportunity to transform pressure into triumph, doubt into determination, and criticism into a stepping stone for greatness. For Cristiano Ronaldo, mastery over himself was the ultimate victory.